The night was dark and still, with autumn winds rustling through the solitary tree branches. In that new house, Ryan sat alone in his room, trying to adjust to this strange place he had recently moved into. It was his first step towards a new life, but he never expected the terrifying events that would unfold. In that moment, the door to his room slowly creaked open, and a mysterious man entered, dressed in long black attire and a menacing mask. Ryan froze in place, his eyes widening with the horror coursing through him. Fear and helplessness overwhelmed him as this terrifying stranger intercepted him. The man wielded a sharp knife in his hand and began to approach Ryan with slow steps. Panic gripped Ryan's heart, and he began to run towards the door, but the stranger lured him with a wicked smile. "You are in a new world now, and I am the ancient dweller of this house. I wanted to welcome you in my own special way." Bloody scenes intertwined in Ryan's mind as he imagined the horrifying possibilities that could unfold. Escape became the sole objective swirling in his thoughts. But before he could flee, the stranger pounced on him with astonishing speed. Screams and desperate cries echoed through the new house, but no one responded to his pleas. The place became filled with darkness and terror, as if there was no escape from this catastrophe. The stranger ruthlessly wielded his knife, leaving a trail of blood and wounds on Ryan's body. Pain seeped into every cell of his being, urging him to defend himself with all the remaining strength he had. He frantically looked around in a desperate attempt to find anything that could be used as a weapon or a means of escape. After a fierce confrontation, Ryan managed to reach the kitchen of the house. He grabbed a small knife and prepared to fight for his life with all the remaining strength he possessed. The stranger leaped at Ryan once again, but this time Ryan evaded his deadly strike and fought back with fervent determination, utilizing the knife. Blood flowed onto the floor in a horrifying manner, and the assailant collapsed to the ground, emitting agonizing screams. Ryan summoned his last ounce of energy to escape from this bloody nightmare, sprinting with immense speed towards the outside where fresh air awaited him. It was late at night when college student Adam returned home after a long day at university. He felt exhausted and longed for a sense of safety within the walls of his house. However, as he opened the door, a wave of intense horror washed over him. Adam noticed a strange and unsettling odor that tampered with his senses. The house was eerily quiet and unnaturally dark, with no lights indicating the presence of anyone inside. Yet, Adam's keen sense of smell signaled that there was a mysterious person in the house. With every step he took, Adam's heart raced faster. From the living room to his own bedroom, he searched for any signs that indicated the presence of the stranger who threatened his life. And at that moment, he felt something watching him from the shadows. In a moment of anticipation, the stranger pounced on Adam with speed and overpowering force. Adam tried to scream for help, but the stranger covered his mouth to silence him. His screams were choked inside his throat as a brutal struggle ensued between them. Adam's desperate attempts to defend himself proved futile. The stranger was skilled in combat and unbelievably strong. Their clothes tore, and they exchanged hard punches and kicks. Droplets of blood fell onto the floor, exposed under the dim lights. Refusing to succumb to the grim reality, Adam took advantage of the sudden power outage. In the pitch darkness, he used his ability to navigate better than the stranger. He evaded the stranger's blows and moved with caution in the total darkness. Searching for a tool to aid his self-defense, Adam finally found a small serrated knife on a nearby table. As Adam prepared to strike, he noticed a faint light sneaking through a small hole in the curtain. A glimmer of hope surged within him, believing that someone else might have noticed the dangerous situation and could be on the verge of offering help. Empowered by renewed strength and confidence, Adam cautiously advanced toward the stranger. He utilized the darkness to his advantage and attacked the stranger with determination. They exchanged blows and wounds, and soon Adam discovered that the stranger possessed extraordinary fighting skills. As time passed, the brawl grew fiercer and more savage. Blood flowed abundantly, and screams filled the dark air. Adam suffered a deep wound on his hand, but he refused to lose hope and continued to fight for his life. In this critical moment, the police stormed into the house after receiving a report about a suspicious event. The battle ignited between the police and the stranger, and Adam seized the opportunity to distance himself and find a safe hiding spot. Layla woke up from her deep sleep to find the house engulfed in complete darkness, as if darkness itself had wrapped around it from all sides. She tried to move her body to get up, but hesitated as she heard whispers echoing throughout the house. She knew she wasn't alone and felt fear creeping into her heart. Layla began to move cautiously, attempting to reach the phone to call the police or anyone who could help her. As she made her way towards the phone, she made a shocking discovery. She found her parents lying on the floor, covered in fresh blood. Time seemed to stand still, and terror danced in her eyes. Layla rushed forward, gasping for air and trying to control her reactions. She used every ounce of her remaining strength to escape the room and search for help. She found the phone in the adjacent room and hurried to grab it, but before she could do so, a stranger appeared in front of her. The stranger wore a long black robe and a terrifying mask that concealed his facial features. He stared at her with eyes filled with madness and evil, holding a colorful knife in his powerful hand. It was a moment where time froze, and their hearts raced in unison. Layla realized that escape wouldn't come easily and that she was facing a real danger. Layla's mind worked quickly, her thoughts racing to confront this horrifying situation. She knew she had to keep the stranger distracted so she could reach the phone. She started moving cautiously, alert to every suspicious sound. Layla manipulated the surroundings, throwing some objects to the ground to create loud noises. Her goal was to distract the stranger and divert his attention towards the source of the disturbance. In a moment of distraction, Layla seized the opportunity and stabbed him with the sharp object she found nearby. A painful scream erupted from the stranger, and he staggered back, giving Layla the chance to escape. She dashed towards the front door, flinging it open with force, and ran outside without looking back. She breathed in the fresh air deeply, feeling a momentary relief, but she knew the danger was far from over. Layla sprinted through the dark backstreets, desperately seeking a safe place or someone who could help her. She stumbled upon a small open store and entered without hesitation. Someone stood behind the counter, looking surprised by her sudden appearance. Layla screamed with a trembling voice, "Help me! Please, there's someone chasing me and they killed my parents." The man behind the counter looked at Layla with eyes filled with concern and empathy. Ignoring the questions, he asked her to wait for a moment while he called the police. When the man returned, he informed Layla that he had reported the incident to the police, and they were on their way. He offered her to stay in the store until help arrived. Layla felt a relative sense of relief, but she knew she was still in danger. As time passed, the police arrived and began investigating the scene. They took Layla's statements and collected evidence. Layla couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions: fear, sadness, and anger. She wanted justice for her parents and to ensure her own safety. Days turned into weeks, and the investigation continued. The police worked tirelessly to unravel the mystery behind the intruder and the brutal murder. Layla's life was forever changed, but she remained resilient, determined to find closure and move forward. As the truth began to unfold, Layla discovered that the stranger was not acting alone. There was a network of individuals involved in a twisted game of power and control. With the support of the police, Layla fought for justice and uncovered the dark secrets that had led to the tragic events in her